Today we're going to be making a quick foldable in your notebook or with any piece of paper for order of operations and distributing. This first video will show you how to set up the foldable as well as do the order of operations information. So to start, we're going to take our paper and we're going to fold the edge so that it meets this pink line. Then we're going to turn our paper and we're going to take a pair of scissors and we're going to cut this paper in half. Just eyeball it, doesn't have to be perfect. So we have two flaps. We're going to take the top flap then and we're going to cut this top flap in half and then each half in half again. So we're going to end up with 4 flaps on the top and 1 flap on the bottom. Today we're going to start with talking about order of operations. So on the top here, and I like to turn mine around, we're going to write order of operations. So, what do we know about order of operations? Well, we usually remember order of operations by the saying PEMDAS. So we're going to start by writing those initials for PEMDAS, or those letters for PEMDAS, down the side of these first 4 flaps on the edge of each tab. So we have a P for PEMDAS, we have an E, we have an M, or an M and a D we're going to share a flap for, and we have an A and an S. So what does PEMDAS stand for? Well, PEMDAS stands for the order in which we are to solve any mathematical expression with just numbers. So, we always are going to start with parentheses. The P stands for parentheses. Now, this could also be brackets or the little curly brackets we sometimes see. Any type of bracketing or parenthesis, we are always going to solve first. So we're just going to write a little note here. We're going to work inside parentheses first. And we always go inside the deepest set of parentheses there is. Okay? So work inside parentheses first. Okay? The E stands for our exponent. So E stands for exponent. So after we've taken care of all work inside of exponents, we're going to simplify any term raised to a power. I totally spelled simplify wrong. Oops, that's why we have whiteout. So we're going to white out that part. We always make mistakes. It's okay, as long as we fix those mistakes to the best of our ability. So we're going to simplify any term raised to a power. Our next step is a multiplication and division. So we're going to draw an arrow here because sometimes people think you do all multiplication and then all division. But in reality, we're going to do multiplication and division as we see them from left to right. So this M and D stands for multiply and divide. And we are going to do this as we see each operation left to right. The same thing is going to happen for addition and subtraction. The A and the S, we don't do all addition and then all subtraction. What we're going to do is we're going to do all addition and subtraction as we see it from left to right. So if we see subtraction first, we do subtraction first. So add / subtract as we see each operation from left to right. Okay, So those are our steps 4 of operations. We always follow PEMDAS. We work inside parentheses first. We take care of any exponents. We do multiplication and division as we see it from left to right. And we do addition and subtraction as we see it from left to right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with an example problem. So our example is going to be 6 times 5 squared minus 51 plus 3 divided by 3. So how are we going to solve this problem? Well, using our checklist, we're going to start with parentheses. We're going to work inside the parentheses first, okay? So what that's going to mean is we're going to end up doing exponents, multiplication, subtraction, and addition before we ever do this outside division. So we'll be doing the subtraction and addition before we touch this because this is inside of the parentheses. So coming down now, working inside the parentheses, all right, I'm looking specifically here at 6 times 5 squared minus 51 plus 3 divided by 3. And we're going to look specifically at the 5 squared. So inside the parentheses, we then say, are there any other parentheses? Well, no, there's not. So we're going to check, are there any exponents? Yes, there is. There's a 5 squared. So 5 squared is going to be our next step. We're going to take 5 squared, and we should know that 5 squared means 5 times 5, not 5 times 2. So when we simplify this, we're going to end up with 6 times 25, that's 5 times 5, minus 51 plus 3 divided by 3. So we've now taken care of, we're working inside the parentheses, we've taken care of the exponent, now we just have to take care of the multiplication and division. So we're going to multiply and divide as we see them from left to right. Now, I see multiplication first, so we're definitely going to take care of that, but I also see division. We're not going to focus on this division yet because this is not inside the parentheses. We're going to save it for later. So we're just going to worry about this step here. So I do this step here, I have 6 times 25. So inside the parentheses, so I'm still working inside the parentheses, I have 150 minus 51 plus 3 divided by 3. Okay, so I'm still working in parentheses. I have taken care of the exponents. Okay, I have taken care of the multiplication and division inside the exponent. Yes, there's still division, or inside the parentheses. Yes, there's still division, but that's outside the parentheses. So now, inside the parentheses, I'm going to undo addition and subtraction as I see it from left to right. So the first thing I see from left to right is I see subtraction. So 150 minus 51 is going to give me 99. So I have 99 plus 3 divided by 3. And then what I'm going to do is I still have addition in the parentheses. So I'm going to do this next. I get 99 plus 3 is 102. So I have 102 divided by 3. Now, I don't know if y'all could hear my puppy dog in the background scratching. Are you done, Bodie? Okay. Sorry, guys. So I have 102 divided by 3, and now even though I had division earlier in the list, I can finally do that because I go back and say, did I solve everything in parentheses first? Well, if I check, is there anything left to do in the parentheses? No, there's not. So now I can go back up to this step, and we start back at the list. All right, we've taken care of what's in the parentheses. There's no exponents, but there is a multiplication and division to do. So now we're going to go back down the checklist, and now we need to go back to divide. So our final step is we're going to do our division. So I'm going to underline that. So 102 divided by 3, I get the solution is going to be 34. So that's how we're going to use order of operations, okay? We're going to use this checklist and we're going to work together to make sure that we remember our steps and we follow the directions. So we always do everything inside parentheses first, then we simplify exponents, multiplication and division as we see it from left to right, addition and subtraction as we see it from left to right. Check back in for our video on how to do the distributing property below.